everybody, and welcome to the yapfest podcast. I'm Frosty the Snowman.
I'm Bobble from the Tinkerbell series.
I'm longtime hater, first time caller.
Yay!
So today we have our first guest, a special guest, our number one listener, I'm pretty sure, my sister, Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. Welcome to the show.
Hey!
Welcome to the
Happy
show.
to be here.
Great.
I have many complaints to take up, and I'm really glad I could just take it straight to...
Instead of putting the complaints in the box, okay, give us your top 3 complaints about the show.
Top 3 complaints?
Yeah.
Complaint number 1, I have ADD, so I have to put it on 1.5 speed. That's really it.
Do you know how much silence and I have to cut out from both of us? But, like, I have to cut out so much silence. The last episode, was the last episode of the queer media series we did, and I think I had, like, 120. I had an hour and 20 minutes of, like, material, like, for that last episode, because I moved some over from the episode before it, like, for continuity purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought some of it would make more sense in that episode. So it was an hour and 20 minutes, and it ended up being like 42 minutes, 46 minutes, something like that, because I cut out a whole bunch of silence. I cut out a whole bunch of silence of Ben, like, trying to figure out something on his phone.
Always.
And, like, it wasn't just that. Like, there were other moments, too, but, like, I genuinely had to cut out probably, like, I mean, there was other things that cut the time down. Also, there was also just something, I can't even remember what it was, but there was something that just, like, didn't really make sense in the episode that I ended up cutting out. Like, it was just me yapping about something that, like...
She said, and another thing.
Well, because, like, sometimes we start talking about something, or one of us starts talking about something, and, like, it doesn't really end up going anywhere. Like, we're just talking about it, but, like, it makes more sense if we flesh out our thoughts, and sometimes I don't think before I speak, and I just speak. And so I cut out this big, long chunk of me just talking about something that didn't have a purpose. Like, I was just making a statement, and it was, like, probably, like, 5 minutes long. Oh, for context, so for context...
Little context.
So for context, Eleanor is living in South Korea for 2 years. Are we allowed to say it's because... Are we allowed to say that?
I'd prefer not.
Okay. Eleanor is living in South Korea for 2 years for an undisclosed reason. we'll just say that.
I'm a trained CIA agent.
Yeah. But she's literally in South Korea right now. So,
True.
I have been making, like, vlogs every single day and sending them to her. Like, just of me doing me things, I guess. Like, they wouldn't be interesting to the rest of the world, so I literally just, like, I upload them to my secret YouTube channel that's not a secret anymore, because I've ended up sending it to so many people, but I just put them on unlisted, and then I sent them to her, and then she started sending me ones back, and it's kind of escalated.
Yeah, the last video I made, I was like, this is YouTuber material. Am I going to take it off unlisted? Absolutely not. I'm scared.
No, it really was, like it was literally, because she got, like, an 8-step skincare routine.
Yeah. I mean, like, when in Korea, you have to do Korean skincare, and I went bananas and, like, went to Olive Young, which is, like, the Korean Sephora here, and, like, bought so many products, and I was so excited to start it. Hey, skin update. Turns out whenever you try a bunch of new products on your skin that you don't try products on, you will inevitably hurt your skin.
Yeah.
And so this weekend I had to really scale it back, but don't worry, we're back full frontal today, because I was like, you know what? Like,
full frontal.
I'm like, we're trying everything. We're putting everything back on my face that I think, like, I set aside a couple products that I was like, I think that you guys might be the culprit.
Like,
am I going to keep using them? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, well. So, but anyway, she made, like, a whole vlog of her using all the skincare and what they do, and, like, it was genuinely, like, YouTuber material. Because, like, she's figured out how to edit, I think, even better than me. Like,
no.
It's honestly crazy. So,
I'll send it to you, Ben. Don't worry.
Oh
Thank
yeah. And I don't think you know about my secret YouTube channel either, so
I do not.
every
I was
almost yeah, almost everybody knows about the secret YouTube channel now. But like
Except
I
it's
was
for
gonna
Wesley.
say, you're like, because I'm sending it to everybody, and I was like, oh, hello.
by everybody I mean like my entire family. And that's like and like Tristan and that's it. Only because like
Okay,
I
that
up
makes sense. That makes sense.
But like other than like the vlogs, which the public can't see, there's only one video like on the channel, and it's just like me carving a pumpkin. We'll forward the materials to you.
Insert
I
footage
will
here.
say, there's a YouTube channel out there of me in like middle school, and I have like
Oh, 100%.
20, 30 videos uploaded of me doing like what's in my mouth and like
Oh
fucking,
no.
It was a
fucking
trend.
get to know me tags and like
I knew
I
about
remember
that
when I
though.
was younger, I was like, my friend and I wanted to be YouTubers so bad, you know, like that's the age of the internet. And we like uploaded a video and my parents made me remove it because they were like, if you're going to be putting videos on the internet, you can't wear like a tank top because there are freaks out there. And I remember being
Right.
like, you don't even understand. And now, like being an old person, you being like, what's in my mouth? I'm like, you're a child. That is, no one should put that. I'm like, who am I? Clutching my pearls.
no, literally. And like I had an intro and everything. Like I edited a little like what's it called? Not like a theme song, but
Like an
a
intro
little
song
yeah.
or something. We have an intro song.
Yeah, can I say I'm a little bit disappointed it didn't come through the headphones, the intro
Oh no,
song?
I put it in post, babe.
I know.
I
You
put it
need
in
a
post.
soundboard.
Honestly though, I
We
think
do.
we do need a soundboard.
Yeah.
But that's something that I would have to figure out. Anyway, but I knew about Ben's YouTube channel. I've just never successfully found it. Eleanor wanted us to surprise her with like the topic of the day or whatever, or like what we were going to talk about.
Mhm.
And so I thought we would talk about her wedding because we were all involved in her wedding.
That's a good topic.
I was trying to tell the story of I
The
was trying
Denver
to
airport.
Yeah, and I don't think that I told it right because I honestly forgot what the fuck. Like, because remember when we were on the plane and all that weird shit was happening? I know that weird shit was happening, but I can't remember like exactly what happened.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like, do you
Yeah.
remember when the flight attendant there were this like
It
weird
was
shit
like
the whole time, but then the flight
remember
attendant came on
that
and said something, so it was like
I can't remember exactly what the flight attendant said, but we were like sitting in our seats and Lola and I were like reading because like that's prime plane activity, reading.
Absolutely.
Take your headphones out, turn that reading light on, and just go through, dude. You will clock in like no other. And we were sitting there reading, and like it was a late night flight, so all the lights were off. So we just had like the little reading, and then like the lights flashed on and off like 3 times.
oh
And then there was like a
yeah.
really loud, like just like general plane noise. And then like nobody addressed it. Nobody came on the loudspeaker. So like Lola and I were like, was that like us going through like the space-time continuum and we're actually in like a different dimension now? Because like why is nobody talking about that? And then I think like it happened again, and that's when the flight attendant was like, shut.
Sorry guys, I sneezed. So
No, I think that's when the flight attendant like came on and was like, oh, sorry about da 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 da, but like again kind of didn't really address the time it happened before. And so Lola and I were like,
Mm-hmm.
and then like so we were already a little bit tripped out, and we landed at like 9:30, 10 p.m. at the airport, so like definitely later. And yeah, you already kind of talked about like we got on the tram to go to baggage, and it was like pretty quiet because everybody was pretty tired. But like whenever the tram pulled up to the terminal that had like the baggage, before the doors open, you can see like the fire alarm like light flashing.
Yeah, there was no noise.
And the doors
it was just
open,
the
but there was
light.
no noise. But again, nobody around us seemed to be like addressing it or like concerned or
We were,
even
like,
talking about it.
We were literally like
like
the only ones who were like, what's going on? Like,
yeah, it was very freaky because we were like, so like the flashing lights on a plane, now there's flashing lights here, like what is going on? Did we legitimately like time travel? Like what is happening? And then like a speaker came on overhead and was like, "Oh, we're testing the fire alarm," but that didn't happen for like 3 minutes. So for 3 minutes,
Yeah.
we're wandering the airport, lights flashing, nobody else talking about it.
And like it was happening before we like, because I guess it's in a different terminal or whatever. That's why we had to
Yeah.
take the tram. So like it was happening like it seemed like it had been happening before we arrived there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, maybe they could have made like an announcement like before we got there that that's what was happening, but like I don't know. It was very strange. And then when
It was very weird.
like when we arrived there too, we had the thing with the gargoyles and they were creepy. And actually, Eleanor, I found out that in a different part of the airport they have a gargoyle that's like an animatronic and it speaks.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, but
I
like
mean, literally
it's on
above
purpose though.
in an airport where all the lights are flashing and nobody's talking about it and weird shit happened on a plane, I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is bad news.
We kind of
And
felt
our
like we
bags
were gonna
were
die.
somehow like, our bags were like the last ones off the plane. Do you remember that? We were
Yeah,
there forever.
yeah, which is whack because like it's not like we were the last ones to like, you know what I mean? Like, well,
Mm-hmm.
and like we got to the airport like 2 hours before and checked our bags like when we got there. So
Yeah.
it's like, why were ours the last ones off the damn plane? Well, I guess if they were first in, they could be last out. So maybe that makes sense. But like, still, it was very
Yeah.
like we waited at baggage claim for a long time, and then
Yeah.
we had to go find Annabelle in the parking lot, and we had to walk through. Do you remember that we had to walk through the parking
Yes.
garage
It was
and
literally
find her,
like
and she was far away in this lot.
we had to walk through like two different parking garages and none of them went to like the ground floor to just like walk outside. None of them did that. And so
It was
we're
like a
like
maze.
wandering this like weird maze and like I don't know, we're like two women like walking alone in the dark like
Literally.
like there's a little bit of fear there where you're like,
Oh,
okay,
for
and
sure,
this
for
bag I can swing, right? And that bag we can leave. So
Well,
freaky.
I thought there were other people that were doing like the same thing we were doing, but I can't remember if that was true or if I
At the
imagined.
very beginning, but by the time we got to the second parking garage, we were
Oh,
on our own.
yeah. And we kept trying to like we were trying to like cuz you have
I
or
had her
like
location,
her
and
location
so I was
and we
like
were trying
trying to
to
track it.
and like we're
But
trying to
it's
figure out where
Apple
she is.
location, so it's like, oh, she's within 500 feet, and you're like, yeah,
Okay, but like
probably, but
where though? And like
probably.
she even I'm pretty sure she even dropped a pin and for some reason we just like we clicked on the pin and we tried to but like we
it would
literally
not load.
it would
Yeah, it
not
wouldn't load.
load. It was crazy.
And then we finally found her, and I will never forget. Like, it's this like poorly lit like pavement parking lot, and Annabelle is short. She's like 5 foot, like
Yeah,
even. She's
she's
very
shorter than
short.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and she literally came out, and like her face was unlit. She's like, "Hey," and I was like, "I love you," but like, I'm I'm scared right now. Like,
and then I'm pretty sure it started like it wasn't storming, but it was like lightning for some reason. Do you
yeah,
remember
there was
that?
like heat lightning. Yeah, there was heat
Oh my
lightning.
god. And then we like after that we had to pick up Cassie cuz Cassie got in like
Mm-hmm.
an hour or so after us.
Yeah,
So
she got in like an hour after us, and we were like, "Oh, we'll just wait for you." Yeah, by the time we got there, we were like, "We need to get in the car and drive to the other terminal, pick Cassie up. Like, we gotta
yeah.
go. We're running late."
Yeah, it was crazy. Honestly, that was the craziest part of the entire trip. Honestly, the craziest
Yeah.
part of the entire trip. I don't even know if we have a lot else to say about the rest of it,
No,
honestly.
I loved it. I had a good time. It was my birthday weekend, so it was
Oh
like
yeah.
fun to like
Very
celebrate my birthday.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like half of my bridesmaids were sisters and the other half were friends. And so like I think Lola probably would have laughed and like thought it was all funny. And I think my sister, my like blood sister, would have laughed at some of the like general bachelorette things, but our Lola's not Lulu, Lola and I's mutual sister
Mutual
would have
sister.
definitely been like about anything if we would have talked about Matt. So I was like, let's just celebrate my birthday instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to just quickly like explain how we're related
Oh yeah,
because
probably.
because I don't think I've ever explained it
It's really
before.
easy. Lola's my sister, and I'm married to her brother.
Yeah. In simple terms. And also Eleanor has 5 moms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, but so Erin and I, our other sister, we're stepsisters. Technically, I don't believe in all that step
Yeah.
shit, that he she liberal shit.
That he she liberal shit.
As Caleb Heron would put it. But me and Erin are stepsisters, and then Erin's brother, my stepbrother Matt, married Eleanor. So technically, Eleanor's my stepsister-in-law. But
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. Also, we don't really believe in that shit. Like,
I know.
we've known each other for kind of a while, so it's like
your family. Your family.
Yeah.
Matt and I have been together 8 years in June.
That's a long time.
Dang.
And it's a long time.
And we actually met Eleanor before they were even technically dating, so it's like
true. You guys actually met us the day that we that is the day that we consider our anniversary.
Oh, really?
Because full circle moment, it was my birthday.
Oh, wait, I think I do remember that. I held a kangaroo that day.
I turned 19 that day. And this was my mom and I. My mom came down for my birthday because we were like, Matt and I met at a summer camp, which is like very cute. I think back to how we met, and I'm like, damn, that was like a really cute, like meet cute story. But now, because I think that like every time I tell the story, I'm like, I gotta pretend like this is not cute because it's annoying. But
yeah,
Matt and I met at a summer camp. And the story that I remember is that like I remember that he had worked at this camp prior, so he was technically like leadership staff, and I was like a camp counselor, and I thought it was really cute, and there was a bunch of international staff there, and Cassie was actually working there too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Cassie was the reason I even worked there, was because she was like, oh, I'm not gonna come. We went to different schools, and she was like, I'm not gonna come home for the summer, I'm gonna work at a summer camp. And I was like, well, if you're not coming home, like, what am I gonna do all summer in the town that we grew up in? So I was like, would you be mad if I also worked at a summer camp? And she was like, no, like that's totally fine. And so I applied for different ones and actually got I got the offer at the same one that she worked at. So Cassie and I went together, and I remember distinctly us like on like the 3rd day, she was like, so who's going to be your summer fling? Because when I talk about like the international staff, I mean, there were so many that it was like the perfect like Mamma Mia summer. Like you could have had a fling with an Irish guy for like 2 months and then never see each other again. Like, and that would have been perfectly okay. And she had her eyes on this like British guy. She actually ended up dating him like temporarily. And
Queen.
I was like, looking at all of these guys, like there was this really hot German guy, and he was so nice. And I was like, yeah, but like knowing my luck, like I'm not gonna fall in love with any of them. I'm gonna fall in love with like, I don't know. And I literally pointed at Matt. I was like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna end up like falling in love with him. Well, it was crazy hat day, but only he was wearing a hat.
Yeah.
It was like one of the dumb like rainbow like color ones too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, knowing my luck, I'm gonna end up falling in love with like, I don't know, like him. Nope.
Well, that's so awkward for you. And then we all attended their wedding 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we found out Matt and I went to the same school. Well, I found that out. The story that he tells, he actually knew who I was before we started working at camp. Because we had met and we had like one mutual friend. And so he knew who I was. And actually my brief stint on Tinder, we did come across each other's profiles. And this just like is the difference between like women and men, because I saw his profile. And at this point I knew that we were going to work together all summer. So I was like, okay, if I swipe right and he swipes right and we have this amazing thing and then we date going into that'd be really cool. But if we don't and we break up, it's going to be terrible. And he's also already worked there, so he already knows people, so he can start telling people how terrible it was. Like, this is supposed to be like a fresh start. I don't want him to like ruin it. He said, she's really cute, I'm gonna swipe right.
Yeah, that's pretty much how Matt's brain works, I would say. Yeah.
Hearing your perception of like what Matt would say at this camp and me knowing who Matt is now, like totally does not add up. But that's great.
So he actually knew who I was and like all of that fun stuff. So We did private vows, but in my vows, I said, I was like, I remember like, you know, you being the guy who looked me in the eyes and said, you filled out your W-2 form wrong. And me at 18 years old panicking because I didn't have any cell service, so I couldn't call my dad and I didn't know what to do.
I don't think I've ever heard that story before. She was saving it for the podcast all along.
I was, yeah. This was my almost 8-year ploy.
Yeah.
I said, I predict that Lola's going to start a podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one on the shelf.
Yeah, for real. She's like, my future littlest sister, because I literally am her littlest sister. It's like,
yeah.
Well, because you have your older sister.
I have real life siblings.
Sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I have real life siblings, and I'm the youngest. But when I'm amongst Matt's family, I'm the oldest.
Yeah, it's real.
But there was a moment where Aaron and my sister and I all went to the Taylor Swift concert. And in that moment, I was a middle sister. And so it's very fun kind of like playing around with like the different roles in life. But it's also very weird because my sister is 4 years older than me. So I have this weird like only child side too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember like, oh, what was it? Like your daddy-daughter dance. Like he literally is like sobbing. He's literally sobbing. And then your bow on the back of your dress was coming undone, and your dad's like sobbing, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "Could somebody like go fix her bow? Like it's coming undone." And so of course I was the one who was like, "Okay, I'll fix the bow. I know how to tie a good bow." And so I go and I'm like fixing her bow, and I'm like trying to get out of there so they can get like good pictures, because like I'm not about to ruin the pictures. But I just thought it was so funny because her dad is literally sobbing, and
I'm like holding him. Like I'm just holding him.
Yeah. And I literally am like fixing her bow. Like I feel like we need to tell the story about, I don't remember what we were doing. I don't remember if it was New Year's or what, but like when Aaron
okay. Yeah.
Spoiled the...
Yeah. So Matt and I've been together almost 8 years in June. And in 2020 we were studying abroad in Ireland and ended up having to come home early because I don't know if you guys know, but there was a pandemic going on. It wasn't advisable to be in different countries, you know, all of that. So we came home, and that New Year's, no, not that New Year's, but that New Year's, we started the tradition of all the siblings would get together at our place, and we would like have a New Year's Eve party. And Ben has actually been at one of our parties too. Like, you know, it's kind of like open for everybody, but it wasn't that one.
This one? He wasn't at this one.
No.
Not at this one. Okay.
The one after.
So the next year we did the same thing, and we're like, let's get everybody together. And so it like struck midnight, or it was like 11:45. It was something like that. And Matt gets a call from his best friend, Matt, who's like drunk and like, I love you, man, and is doing all of that stuff. So Matt goes and takes that phone call somewhere else. Liam is there. Don't know where. Liam is present and around. He was at this party, but I do not know where he was at this moment.
I think he was just sitting on the couch. To be so honest with you, he was just like existing. That's what he does.
And I think I was sitting like closer to Liam, and Aaron and Lola were sitting by each other. And I'm like drunk, obviously it's New Year's Eve. And I don't know what I was doing, but all of a sudden I like look over and I see Aaron go like this to Lola and then go, "Matt has a ring." And I literally was like, "What?" And she went, "Oh shit."
No, it was the thing Aaron does. Me and Aaron were having like a conversation, okay? Me and Aaron prior to, like, I don't know what Eleanor was doing. She was doing something else. She was not on the couch with us. But like, me and Aaron were like going back and forth because I don't know what I was doing either, but I remember that I stumbled over to the couch, and then like, I'm pretty sure Aaron like smacked my butt, and then she sat down across from me. And I can't remember why, but me and Aaron were like having a conversation, and then all of a sudden she goes, wait, And then she does that loud whisper thing that she does where she thinks she's whispering, but it actually sounds like this, and it's actually normal volume. And
That's even
and
more
so,
quiet than what it sounds like. She's gotten better with time, but at the time,
no, but like
that is how loud
it was so
it
like she was basically just like was speaking out loud, but like she was putting air into her speaking voice, so it
was. Yeah.
was a whisper, but it wasn't a whisper. And she goes,
Right.
"Matt has the ring," and I went like we all just looked around at each other. We all just looked around at each other, and Eleanor goes, "What?" And
yeah, I literally heard it full volume.
yeah, full volume.
And then she was like, no, like kind of trying to be like, no, just forget about it. And I was like, I can't forget about it. You just out loud said, okay. And then I took them into the kitchen. And then Aaron was like, you can't tell anybody, can't tell anybody. And I was like, I think that goes for you. I don't think that goes for me. Like, it's my surprise. I can do what I want with it. Thank you.
Literally.
But then she told me that, so this is New Year's. She's like, Matt's had the ring since August. And it's just like been waiting. And like that's the most we really talked about it. But then the next day we like we wake up like, and I had this like brief like 20 seconds of like peace and like being like, wow, last night was so fun. And then immediately like, shit, do I tell Matt? Do I tell Matt? Do I tell Matt? And finally I was like, that's my best friend, so I guess I'll tell him. And I was like, I really need to tell you something, and I'm so sorry, but this is what happened. And she went, son of a bitch. I was like, well, apparently he didn't even tell Aaron. He told his mom and told his mom not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And his mom told Aaron.
Yeah. Well, for some reason in my memory, I don't know why, like I might have hallucinated. I don't know what happened that day. I might have hallucinated it, like, because we were playing like King's Cup and like that
Ride the bus.
Ride the bus goes south real quick. But anyway,
I haven't played Ride the Bus with you.
No, we need to. But
I've never played Ride the Bus beyond this one New Year's Eve, and then I said, "Oh, I think I am good."
I thought we had played it before. It's my least favorite game. It's actually
it's Aaron's favorite. Not.
It's Aaron's favorite because she's insane. But like King's Cup is the best one. I remember one time we played King's Cup, and one of the rules was like you have to say everything in Shakespeare. And it was
horrible.
It was my favorite. I loved it. I was like, because like I think that it's really funny, but I couldn't like get myself together enough to be able to do it. So I ended up having to drink. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, for some reason in my memory, Matt was in the room and he goes, Aaron. Like, I don't know why. For some reason in my memory, he was there and like he had a reaction.
That's what he said like the next day. He was like, Aaron. Because like, one of my favorite things is that like, it's like, because I very rarely get to experience like the older sibling thing, like one of my greatest joys is like whenever everybody spends a night at my house, like inevitably everybody will end up in my room, like my bedroom, in the morning. There's like something, and there's just something so heartwarming about like looking around and being like, and I'm the older sister and everyone's in my room and like throwing pillows to them because they're sitting on the floor. Like it's just very heartwarming for me. But that's whenever he was like, Aaron. And she was like, I'm so like, she felt so bad. And like, it's arguably very funny, but like, I know that she does feel bad.
It's funny now. I mean, it was funny for me in the moment because it was Aaron's fault and not mine. But at the same time, I was like, Aaron, that was really bad. Like,
yeah. Well, and Matt and I talked about it a little bit further, and basically the only thing I really said was like, knowing what I know now, if it comes to like August 22 and you still haven't proposed, I'm going to start like wondering like what happened, because like now you've had the ring for like a whole year. And like what happened? What's going on?
Yeah.
So, and then honestly, I never looked for the ring. I was so scared to find it. I did not know what I was going to do if I ever found it. So I like started making my path in that apartment like so intentional, being like, and I'm opening up my sock drawer. I'm opening up my shirt drawer. Like I'm not getting into Matt's desk or his drawers. Yeah, apparently it was like literally like sitting on his desk at some points. Like, but
okay.
I just was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to look for it.
Yeah, I would be on my tiptoes too. I'd be honestly though, it would drive me so insane like mentally. I feel like I would finally just like snap and be like, "You have to tell me where it is just so I don't find it."
I just felt
me.
so bad, and I wanted him to have like a little bit of a surprise, considering that part was ruined. But I mean, at the same time, like we had talked about marriage and things like that. Like Matt and I always talk about like the proposal timing should be the surprise, not the proposal itself.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know that your partner's proposing to you and then they do, like you shouldn't say yes, because you should be like, hey, have we talked about everything that's like important and like relevant to our lives? And like Lola mentioned earlier, I have 5 moms, but that's because whenever Matt and I got married, like both of our parents are divorced. And so we talked about divorce a lot, probably more than like an average couple would, just because we were like, we've kind of seen like the good, bad, and ugly that can happen with a marriage and like, and a divorce. And so we even talked about like, okay, if we were to get divorced, what kind of like, what would be the circumstance and like, how do we want to act afterwards and things like that? Because like, divorce is horrible.
Real.
And like, it can be really horrible. And so we were like, let's just make sure we got our bases covered. Yeah. Also, Ben, is that a Ray Dunn Hanukkah pillow?
Oh,
no, it's not Ray Dunn.
It looks like
no. It's cute. Hanukkah's late this year.
Yeah, it starts on Christmas, which never happens.
Oh, well, maybe then your Christmas presents will come in time for Hanukkah, because they're not coming by Christmas.
That's okay. We ordered a rug on the 9th of December, and it's in Kansas today. So.
Oh, great.
Don't think it's getting to us anytime soon.
I can't remember. Did the proposal happen in March or April?
It happened in May.
Oh, in May. Guys, I almost spoiled it.
Lola's turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I almost spoiled it. And honestly, I can't even remember. Matt sent me a text. Oh, I remember. Matt sent me a text. He was like, when will you be home for the year? Like, when are you coming home? Or so, I don't know. And it was really like, it was something like that. I don't know if that was like verbatim what he said, but like, it was very weird. Like the way he phrased it was very strange. And so I was like,
also, he doesn't really talk to you like
well, okay, so we don't text. Me and Matt don't really text. Like,
well, he's the world's worst texter, so
that, and also just like we communicate through vibes, I feel, and like memes. So like we don't really text.
And
so
eye drops.
And eye drops. He sent me some eye drops because I was complaining. It was just phrased strangely, and so like I don't know. Like in my mind, like I started panicking. I started panicking because I was like, guys, this is weird. And so, but like I was like, guys, this is.
We were on a sister FaceTime.
Yeah, like we were literally on like a group FaceTime, and I go, guys, Matt texted me something really weird. Like, this is really suspicious. What do you think is going on? And Matt texts me, oh my god. He's like, girl. He's like, he didn't say girl, but he was like, I'm proposing. Stop talking. And I was like, oh no, I almost ruined it. And then I had to cover my fucking tracks. And cause then Erin texted me on the side. She was like, do you know what I know? And I was like, yes, I know what you know. Help me cover my ass right now. I was like, oh my god, did I ruin it?
Oh god.
I think he texted me something to the effect of like, will you be home for blah 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 blah, like, or he was like trying to plan something. And so,
yeah,
for some reason, I thought it was really suspicious. I don't know. Like, I don't know what was going through my mind. But yeah,
I think that he probably asked, like, when do you come home from your semester?
Probably something like that. I don't have.
Girl, you are not going to be able to find that. What are you talking about?
No. Well, I thought I might be able to because I keep a lot of texts, but I apparently haven't kept Matt since August 1st. So
you guys don't have that automatic delete every 30 days?
No,
that's how I keep my conscience clean.
Well, there are some there's some conversations that like I have a reason to keep, and like you can't. I don't think you can set it for specific conversations not to do that. But like if I could do it for specific conversations, I probably would because like that's like the number one thing that takes up the most storage in my phone.
I was gonna say I've never cleared mine and Lola's messages, and I'm
Me neither.
Genuinely believe it takes like a whole gigabyte.
I'm positive.
Just mine and Lola's messages.
Yeah,
I'm positive.
Sure. Also, if you were to try to delete it at this point, I'm sure your guys' phones would freeze.
Probably. And also then we would lose 4 years of memories. Like I can't part with it. At this point we're in too deep and I just can't.
I need all the photos of the meat roses Lola sent me in a row.
He really, really hates he hates looking at raw meat. And so
you know what? And that's valid.
It is valid. It is valid, but I wanted to antagonize him, and so I kept sending him pictures of raw meat. And like around Valentine's Day, there were like raw meat roses or whatever, and so I kept sending them to him. Anyway,
and also just shit. The word "gay" in flames over and over and over again.
I don't remember that.
There was a time where I thought that Ben was mad at me because he wouldn't respond. And I was like, damn, I really pushed it too far. I think it was like after the Florida trip, like every once in a while I would just like text like Danny's skull emoji and like no response. And I was like, so Ben's probably mad. Like he probably is like, can you guys please let this go?
No, but it's like this man has 300 unread text messages at all times. And he just like, he definitely sees stuff, he responds in his head, and then he never responds to you. Like, to get him
Yes, if I open the message, it is game over. It is lost in the void. It is lost in the void.
Like, I know that he's not mad at me. Sometimes I spiral and I think he's mad at me. It's never true. It's just that he opened the message and forgot about it, or he just hasn't opened it and he's gonna get around to it later. And so to get a hold of this man, I either have to call him on the phone or I have to spam his phone with text messages.
It's true.
And like, it honestly doesn't bother me because like, I'm low-key the same way. If we have time, we should also talk about Florida.
I'm sorry, but I have to talk about it right now because my favorite memory of Florida is, so I know you guys briefly talked about it, but basically we were in a 2-bedroom place and there was 8 of us.
Yeah.
And so like mom and dad in the bedroom, and then Lola and Liam had their own individual twin beds in 1 bedroom. And then Aaron was on a pull-out couch. Matt and I were on a blow-up like queen-size mattress. And then Ben, you were on like a twin-size blow-up mattress, I think. And it kept deflating. So at some point, I think we just made it into a pallet. Like,
like he slept on pillows.
Yeah, for sure. Like a little rat. Like you were just like, I'm gonna make my little nest.
He sleeps like a rat. He sleeps like in a ball in the fetal position, and he without his glasses, he's almost legally blind, and so he's like, and he looks like a rat sometimes, like when he wakes up.
Oh my god. Well, that's not what I was saying. I was just saying he was curled up like a little rat.
Sorry.
You're like, yeah, he really looks like a rat. I've been dying to talk about it.
Eleanor was like, oh, he made a little nest. Lola was like, yeah, you rat. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys.
Really
Sorry, guys.
But,
anyway.
So that first night, Matt and I were like on the pull-out couch. And then we decided, well, like Aaron always kind of feels some type of way about like couples having different privileges and not couples. And so Matt and I were like, we'll sleep on the air mattress because it's like a little bit more uncomfortable, but like whatever. So that second night we were on the air mattress, and I remember at one point, like I'm like facing the wall And then I flip over and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, Erin, turn off your flashlight. And she looks up from her phone. Her phone brightness was so bright. I thought she was shining her flashlight at us.
Her brightness
And I
is
was
always
like,
so bright. Her
always
brightness is
100%, always
like
100%. But then I'm like, oh, okay. So like I kind of like shape, so like I'm kind of putting my pillow up and I look over and Ben is like on, I don't know when your phone died, but it was really early on, if not before we got to Florida, and you were on your Nintendo Switch trying to Google chat with Danny.
I remember that.
So my phone broke day one of the trip because
it was so
we were like,
funny, you guys.
We're gonna go swim in the pool. And so obviously we were drinking in the pool, and then my phone fell in, hashtag fully submerged. And I was like, oh, it's okay, it's water resistant. No, slowly the screen started to go.
Oh
And
my
like
God.
it was just gone. And I was like, just starting this thing, talking to a guy, and I was like, I need a way to like keep him updated of like this trip. It was bad. I was so down bad that like I was like, there's this game called Soul, and we can like message in game, like down bad.
Down bad. And
Oh
you
my
know what?
God.
You got your man, so it's okay.
You
but
did
like
get your man, and it was worth it.
but like
3 years this January. Jesus
it
Christ.
got to the point where, because as we've said before, because I told the 911 story before, as we've said before, the phone was working. It's just that the screen wasn't working for some reason. And so he would go, and sorry if your phones go off when I say this, but he would go, hey Siri, call Danny. And so we all
But it, you know, like Siri will, like that would work, but Siri will read back and be like, calling Danny, and then we'll list off any emojis. And so you had a skull emoji, so it'd be like calling Danny, skull emoji.
Yeah, and he would say like, he would literally like say skull emoji to the
I'd be
phone.
like, text Danny, LOL, skull emoji. Like,
Oh my God. Like, it was genuinely
So funny.
the funniest thing I have ever endured in my life. Like, I miss the vibes of that trip so bad. Like, I wish I could transport.
Okay, yeah, also, whenever we, so it was like that first night, Lola, you broke something and your mom got so mad. She was like,
I broke a glass.
The cup.
Yeah, broke a glass.
So we were suctioning glass cups to our mouths over a glass table. And the cup fell, and only the cup broke, thank God.
But oh my
Yvette
God, your mom
had
was like,
it.
I got in trouble.
yeah, she was like, you need to pay attention, da 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 da. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like all that.
Like, I don't. The plan was not to drop the cup, and something happened. Like, I was like laser focused, and then something, because we were playing a game, something happened around me that distracted me, and so I smiled, like I laughed and I smiled, and I broke the suction, and then it fell, and I went to catch it, but I missed.
What was that?
Because I had a tequila sunrise, okay?
Made by Erin.
Made by Erin.
Specifically made by Erin.
Made by
Erin.
Erin.
You have to add the disclaimer.
Yeah, well,
it's like I got a mixed drink at a gay bar. It means something very different.
Yeah, no, it does. And so there's this picture, because this
I'm
was
pulling it up.
This was like Christmas. There's this picture of me, me and Ben is wearing goggles, right? Like swim goggles.
Yeah. Wait, I think I took that photo of you guys.
I think you might have. Ben is wearing swim goggles, and I'm laying on his lap. Like, it's the funniest photo I've ever seen.
It's a Renaissance era photo.
It is. I genuinely want to get it painted like in an oil painting and hung up on the wall, because I think it's so funny. And like,
yeah.
And that was off of one singular tequila sunrise made by Erin.
Made by Erin.
Okay, but the amount of tequila to sunrise ratio, it's like this much tequila and this much orange juice and whatever.
It's literally else. To the point where I still can't drink like regular orange juice, not as a mixer, because it just like, for a while it tasted wrong, and I was like, oh no.
Well, for me, I just can't have, because really what we drank almost the whole trip, it was like we ran out of tequila really early on. And so
Yeah,
we
we did.
just started drinking rum and orange juice, like dark rum.
Curacao.
Curacao.
Kraken rum.
We started drinking dark rum and
Kraken.
orange juice. And I don't know if you've ever mixed the two, but like you probably shouldn't, because
No.
okay,
Absolutely
the
not.
Hey,
sugar,
don't. It tastes bad.
it tastes bad first of all, but the sugar in the orange juice will do you in for. Like, it's terrible. But
Yeah.
we had to like we had to survive off of something. Like, my mom, she made this big she makes butter chicken for Christmas. She made this
Oh my God,
huge
so good.
thing of it that we brought, like literally probably the tray was like this big, I think. And so
Easily.
easily. And so we literally she made that, and then we ate it for like probably 4 or 5 days out of the 7 or
Yeah,
8
because
days
we
we were
got
there.
there on Christmas Day or something like that. Like
Yeah.
Christmas was at the very
Mhm.
beginning of the trip, and so
Yeah.
we had it, and then we had it for leftovers, and we were there until like the day after. Yeah.
I
Well, I was gonna
miss the
say after
vibes.
you broke the glass, like the literal next day, I'm really clumsy. It does not matter how much I drink. In fact, on my very first drink, I am going to spill or I'm going to drop something. I don't know what it is. I'm not drunk. I'm not tipsy, but that is like part of my shtick. Uh, and I dropped a glass and it shattered. And I immediately like look at Yvette because I'm like, well, Lola just got rained yesterday. I just broke another glass. Like, I would not be surprised if Yvette is pissed. And so I'm like looking at her, and I guess I looked scared. And she was like, "It's okay. Accidents happen."
like not
Lola
it's like
being
literally just because like she thought I was being stupid. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I literally wasn't being stupid. I like it was mine was genuinely also an accident, but like she thought
Yeah.
that I was up to no good, and that's why I got in trouble. And like Eleanor's was also genuinely an accident, but she believed that Eleanor was not up to no good, like over me, because like
Yeah, for sure.
I would be the one to do shenanigans over Eleanor any day of the week.
What was
But
that damn game that we were all playing?
Oh, shit. I knew that you were gonna bring it up, and I couldn't think of the name.
I don't remember
But
what game we were playing. Oh,
essentially,
the one.
yeah, you had like little
Gotcha
like,
or something?
Gotcha. Yeah,
Something like that.
and you had like little cards, and you were like trying to get them, and we like literally, and normally it's like a card game that happens over the course of like one game night. No, we decided we're gonna make this shit like last all week, and so
Mhm.
everybody got assigned like 7 cards a day, and it was like try to get someone to say what, try to get someone to hug you, like get someone to high five you 3 times in a row. Like, it was all like dumb shit, but it got to a point that like on like the second to last day, it was like, you are not going to get me to do that for you.
Genuinely, it was like it was mental warfare. Like,
yeah.
I think one of Aaron's was
like it would be like, oh, pass me a glass, and you're like, I'm not gonna do that. I know that that's one of your cards.
yeah. Well, because like
Truly.
there was a point where Aaron got one of Aaron's cards was get somebody to make you a cup of tea, or like
Yeah.
something like that, and
Yeah.
she got me to do it because she was like she knew
She played
she
right
preyed on
into
me.
dude. Yeah,
She
did.
preyed on me. She was like, I know you like tea, so, and then she was like, I think, can you like make me a cup of tea? Like, I haven't really ever had it before, and I'm trying to like get into it, and like can you make me a cup of tea? And I just
I
want to
think
try it and
she
see if
even
I like
said
it.
like, I've never liked it before, but maybe if you make it, I'll like it. Like, I think she like literally said something like that to you.
Probably something like that, but I was just like, yeah, sure. I was trying to be nice to my sister, but of course she had an ulterior motive. And so like it literally got to the point like I was losing this game, you guys. I definitely was the loser of the game overall. I don't think that I think I got like one person to do one of mine, and I don't even remember what any of mine like were, but like I got to a point where I gave up, and like everybody else, I think they kept trying to go, but like by the end a lot of us had given up, and like we were exhausted mentally, and so we were just like, okay, we have to quit. We have to
be
throw
done.
in the towel.
My favorite moment playing that game, the iconic duo that was Matt and I went on a trip while in Florida to go shelling on this island.
Oh yeah.
It was,
oh yeah.
It was me, Matt, Paul, and Yvette. The four of us were like, we're gonna go shelling, and Matt and I decided to pair up. We were on this island for like hours.
Hours. You guys
A
were
whole
gone
day.
forever.
A whole day. We were alone.
And Matt had a card, and it was like, convince someone they broke an item. Like, make them believe they broke something. And so the entire time we were shelling, Matt said he was trying to like slide seashells under my feet so that they would like break. And like literally at the very end of the trip, he handed me like a whole shell, and like it just like fell apart in my hands. I was like, "Oh, that's sad." And he goes, "Gotcha." It's like, "What do you mean, gotcha?" He pulls out the card and he was like, "I broke the shell," and handed it to you.
He set you up.
Oh, it was the whole time he said he was trying to do it. He was like, it was the only one we could do here.
No, but honestly, like it honestly, he had opportunities when we broke the glasses too. It's just he didn't make us break the object, so it's like
Yeah.
you can't like claim that because he didn't make us do it. Like it didn't work until
It didn't
he
work.
broke
Like
it.
you were like
He literally it's like SpongeBob and fucking
He was like
Plankton.
He was like so mad. He's like, "You're so light on your feet. Like, what are you?" Ugh.
Like he called you gay. He called you. He called you.
He called me Twinkle Toes. Absolutely.
He said, "Giddy
Oh
up,
my
jingle
God.
horse. Pick up your feet."
Oh.
No, literally, but everything about that trip I missed so like the vibes were so fucking immaculate.
I forgot until just now, but Barefoot on the Ground came from Florida.
It
Ew,
did.
barefoot on the ground.
What the fuck were we
at-
doing?
We were at this like coffee shop. We were like walked like maybe like 3 blocks
Liam!
down, and we were like at a coffee shop. And we were in Florida, and it was like there was like indefinite like indoor section, but then they had this like solarium, but like it definitely wasn't like carpet or hardwood. It was like definitely kind of like outdoorsy ground.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all kind of crowded around drinking our coffee, and I look over and Liam had slid his feet out of his sandals and was just like resting them on the ground, and I don't know what happened. I cannot tell you, but something deep within me, I just went, "Oh, barefoot on the ground!" Like it was visceral.
It was visceral. It was guttural, and then we said it the rest of the time. It was so fucking funny.
We were drinking those damn banana lattes.
Oh my god, but they were so good though.
They were so good.
They were so good. No, but we literally say it to this day. Like it impacted my fucking. And then it got to the point where we would send like each other
pictures of random things,
or like of barefoot wine on the ground, and be like, "Ew, barefoot on the ground!" Like, so fucking funny. Honestly, that entire trip changed my brain chemistry, like, in the best way possible.
That trip was right after Matt and I got married, too.
I felt felt so free. No, it was before.
It was before.
No, it was before. It was right before. Yep, you're right.
Before. But, like, I literally felt so free. That's the freest I've ever felt. And now I can't.
Vibes were vibing.
I feel like I can't go to Florida anymore because they're going to shoot me and call me a dyke, so.
Every night we played Marco Polo in the pool.
Oh my god, and it was so fun too. Like, our Marco Polo games were so fucking intense. I think that I was.
I think everybody ended up with like a scrape on their foot from like jumping around.
Jumping around, yeah, and like.
Also, all of us grown adults. In fact, at one point, we were all grown adults in the pool, and we look over, and there were like 2 like 8-year-olds in the hot tub.
Literally, like we were the children. But like most of us wear contacts, and so like we were all wearing like goggles too because you can't open your eyes underwater when you have or at least you shouldn't open your eyes underwater when you have contacts in your eyes.
And one of us was becoming an eye doctor, so he was really annoying about it.
And so like we had these goggles on while we were doing it, and it made it even funnier because it's like, I mean, like imagine grown adults in like fucking goggles,
hair and like literally pressed around the Google,
like
Google.
Google.
like George Washington, okay, and like we're like, literally acting.
I didn't count.
We're literally coughing up water, like it was what a sight.
Guys, you have to respond if I say Marco. You have to say Polo. It's literally not fair for you guys not to say Polo.
And then we started playing. We also played a lot of mermaids. Like we played a lot of mermaids in the ocean and also in the pool. Like, and we would literally play like everybody had to pick a tail color, and nobody could pick a tail color that somebody else already had.
And of course, everybody had powers.
Yeah, obviously. And it what? Oh my god, it was so fun.
Yeah, that was a good trip.
And also on New Year's, it was like super foggy. Like
oh my god, it was so foggy.
We went outside like at night. Obviously, like we were just walking on the beach at night. I'm pretty sure it was allowed. Like the beach wasn't closed or anything.
No.
Like
no.
Like we went out to like walk on the beach at night and like play at night, and it was so foggy that we were like, I literally have a picture of like Ben in the fog, like with his feet in the water, because also for some reason that like
that's scary.
So we're all like running around in the fog, and there's like fireworks going off, and like Aaron was running away, but for a different reason that we probably shouldn't talk about. and like the vibes were just so immaculate, because at first we were really disappointed about the weather, and then we were like, wait, let's just go outside. Like,
let's just go outside.
It was so fun.
Also, it turns out 8 of us being in this small ass apartment is driving everybody crazy, so I think we need to go outside.
The vibes were truly immaculate, and I miss it so bad every single day.
Ben, whenever you show that photo of you guys in Florida, it really reminded me of a photo of you at our wedding that every once in a while I send you, but you do not respond. But I want
be on
this
the trolley?
picture.
Do you guys know that Yvette wants that picture framed?
Yeah,
like,
she does. I want to get it framed for
her.
in
the house.
Fun fact, that is the last time I wore that suit, because of that picture, I realized how short my pants are.
Oh.
It
was this jewel-toned maroonish purple. It was great.
It was really good. And then he tied his tie knot was like, what is it called?
I don't know. It was really fancy.
It looked like a
braid.
Had
different tiers.
It looks like a braid to me.
Yeah, like a fishtail.
Kinda. Yeah. It was really cool. But you ate it up, TBH.
I stood in my room in my bread and breakfast, literally for an hour trying to tie that tie, like looking in the mirror.
Well,
also, that was the bed and breakfast that I stood at for your wedding, because the house was like crazy busy. Yvette was like, we can't have another person in this house right now. Let's get you a B&B. I roll up to this B&B that used to be a church, but now is owned by this like old couple that has 2 dogs. Literally the sweetest people in the world. The entire place is like, all the different rooms are based off of a different flower. And so I think I stood in like the rose room or something. And it was this really cute like lofted room. Like there was a chair and a TV like on a lower level, and then like 5 steps up was like the bed loft, and it had like an armoire, and like it was very
into
nice.
that.
It was very nice. I loved it. I'd come down every morning. There would be like something new for breakfast. They had like blueberry fucking something French toast. One day was like an omelet, egg in a hole. They would like just sit and talk with you while the dogs would beg for food. It was a great experience.
Oh, it's decorated.
Honestly, we need to bring back B&Bs.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
B and BB.
B. Yeah, whatever you just said.
Bring back B&Bs. BB B&B.
No, but it's decorated all cute for Christmas right now. I drove past it the other day.
Oh,
You
very
drove?
nice.
I didn't drive. You guys,
Sorry.
I have to do exposure therapy.
I know you do. I whenever I have a fever, I always get like the most intense like fever dreams, like horrible. And that video that you sent me, like the FaceTime video, I really wanted to edit it and make it look like it was like underwater and like add like water effects and be like me when I'm having a fever dream. It's like, hello, Eleanor, we're waiting for you.
Okay. I'm gonna do that after this. I'm gonna edit that video to look like that.
So for reference,
Like
we tried recording this episode a couple days ago. But since Eleanor is literally in South Korea, we got our times all mixed up. And
we
so
did our
we
math
thought we were
wrong.
recording earlier in the day than we were. And so it was definitely early morning for Eleanor. And we were on Zoom. Like, where's Eleanor? Like, she's asleep. Like, we need to wake her up. And so both Lola and I tried calling her. And I recently got really into sending the, like, video mails
they're
after
hilarious,
someone
by the
doesn't
way.
pick
Don't
up.
stop. They're so funny.
After someone doesn't pick up a FaceTime, you can record a video and like a replacement for like a voicemail. And I was literally like, "Hello, we're waiting for you," and I flipped my camera around. Oh,
it was really funny, actually.
and then the realization hit in that I never send Eleanor anything. Not a text, not a phone call, nothing.
You're a fake friend.
Yeah, it's okay. We're still friends. I still love you. I don't send anything either, so it's okay.
No, but it was genuinely so funny. And then we hopped on and we like tried to like, because I was like, oh, let's wait and see if like we can wake her up. So I called her, Ben called her, I called her again, and then I was like, I don't think we're gonna be able to wake her up. And so we got off the Zoom call, and then like 20 minutes later, Eleanor texts us, "Hi, I'm just gonna get coffee and then I'll hop on." We were like, and then I was like, we have to reschedule. And then Eleanor was like, wait, like, am I late? Like,
I was like,
what
it's
happened?
only like
she goes, it's only just 7:30 here. And I was like, oh no. We did our math wrong.
Yeah, I don't know where we went wrong, but
yeah, well, because like I was so sure, I was like, oh my god, Eleanor's gonna like wake up and feel so bad, and like I don't want her to feel bad. Like, I don't know, like stuff happens. I don't want her to feel bad, but she goes, "Hi," and I was like,
just completely. Zoom.
I was like, you don't even feel bad. No, but
sorry guys, hour late. My B.
No, but like I was like, it honestly made me feel better that like we all collectively did the math wrong.
Screwed up. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it was like, oh, it was just an accident. Like.
But then I also like how none of us were like, oh, now we can record, as if we didn't sit on FaceTime with each other for about an hour
for
afterwards.
Like 20. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Did we actually? I thought it was like 20 minutes.
Oh, maybe. I have no clue.
Oh.
Well, it was still sat and talk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I just like Ben had plans like later in the day, and I didn't know when the plans were, and so I was just like, fuck it. I don't want to cut into his plans, and then people are like arriving at his apartment like as we're doing the episode. Like, I didn't want to have to do it because it would stress me out too, because I'd feel like I was on a clock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't want to have to deal with this anybody being stressed out about it, and so I was like, fuck it, we'll just do it a different day, and then I'll edit it super fast. No, but what we're all here to talk about is like the actual wedding. We haven't quite gotten there yet.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
sure.
Got it. Yeah. Your wedding day honestly went pretty like smoothly.
It went pretty seamless. Yeah. We got officially married the night before, just because of like circumstance we had to with some family stuff going on. And so we actually had it in Lola's backyard.
Yeah.
And because of the circumstance and because of like the intensity of the circumstance, it was like strictly family only. But Lola, your girlfriend was there and Ben was there.
Ben was there.
And I was like, I feel really terrible, but kind of given everything going on, like, would you guys mind, like, you're gonna be at the house, but do you mind like not being at the wedding?
They were literally like sitting in my room downstairs. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, what
was
were
that
you guys
when we
doing?
were eating Qdoba?
I think
know.
so.
Or was that
you guys
afterwards or something?
No,
I think
it
that you
was
guys were
after the
eating
rehearsal
during.
dinner. It was after the rehearsal dinner.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Oh, that's
so
right.
they weren't eating. They came down into my room. I had no idea what they were doing. Do you remember what you guys did? Just sat here in silence?
I honestly think we just sat and maybe like watched something on the TV.
Well, I
Because-
didn't have a TV
Hell yeah.
before. I have a TV
We
now.
just came from the
think-
rehearsal dinner,
Yeah.
where there was no mac and cheese.
Okay, so
yeah.
okay, guys. So here's the story. So
I was in line for food, and I don't know which relative had.
It was
a
my
little
dad
child.
and my niece. It was
Yes.
my sister's kid, but my dad was with my niece.
And I guess she was being really fussy of like what to eat, and someone was like, "Look, they have mac and cheese," and mac and cheese is my favorite food. And so those words went right into my ear, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna get myself some mac and cheese." And so I get it, and I was like, "Oh, this is like really like cool mac and cheese. Like it's not just like noodles and cheese. Like there's vegetables and stuff in it." I was feeling my oats. And so I go sit at the table I'm eating, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and get some more mac and cheese." And everybody was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, the mac and cheese." And they're like, "Ben, there's no mac and cheese here." I was like, "But the pasta." And they're like, "That's simply just a pasta." And I was like, "But someone said to a child that it was mac and cheese." And I was like, "Well, it worked on me."
Right. It was definitely just like an Alfredo pasta that we were like, it looks similar enough to, to mac and cheese. We'll tell the literal toddler.
no, because I'm pretty sure what happened was that like I think it was Matt who you said it to. Like,
Probably.
I think it was Matt, and Matt goes, "That's not mac and cheese." Like, it was genuinely so funny.
It was the way that you went around and like told other people.
I was like, "Guys, the mac and cheese is so good."
Yeah, he went around telling people. And then on the actual wedding day, it felt so much like it did not feel stressful at all. Like, I think there was.
Sorry.
Why?
Did you see it? You're gonna have to look back, but his head just popped up like this in the
Simba?
background.
Simba?
Yeah.
Oh my god. But like, I think there was like maybe one thing that almost happened that was like would have been bad.
Oh yeah.
Like Matt did so. I can't even
Yeah.
remember what Matt did. That was like we narrowly avoided some sort of crisis. What was it?
Yeah,
Do you remember?
I don't know what happened and what wedding planning, just for anybody who hasn't had to plan a wedding before, is like it's like literally like arranging dominoes to make this like elaborate design, but you can't push the dominoes over until the day of. So at like no point can you like check to be like, yes, this is going to make the design I think it's going to make. So you're like nervous because you're like, I've never done this shit before. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, you're making a timetable, and then you like, I would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I need to tell the DJ that he needs to be the one to announce when we're going to dinner. Like, I have to coordinate that. Like, he doesn't inherently know that. And so it's just a lot of like moving pieces. And one of the things we did was we got ready at our apartment, or I got ready at my apartment and with the girls, because it was like a 1 block away from where we were going to have our reception. And we had access to that building, and it had like this beautiful bridal suite that Matt and I were like, it would be really cool to do like our first look there, and also put some of our stuff there. That way people don't have to come to our apartment afterwards because we didn't get a hotel. Like all of this stuff. And so we were like, and then we'll be able to set up the tables. Like, it all just worked. And I was like, and then from there, the trolley's going to pick us up, the wedding party up, and we're going to go take some wedding party photos and then all of that fun stuff. So we're like coordinating, and like I said, like all the pieces are like trying to align. I'm feeling like air traffic control being like, okay, so this piece is coming in here, this is we thought it was going to be here, but it's a little bit here, so we have to adjust. Like micro adjustments are happening all day. And all of a sudden, like, we needed something, we needed Matt to grab something or pick up someone. It was something like that. And I texted him and he didn't answer. So I called him and I was like, hey, da 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 da, can you go pick up, or can you have someone pick up, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, we'll have the trolley run by and grab. And I was like, no, we need it before the trolley. And he was like, no, so when the trolley picks us up, like, I've got it, don't worry about it. And I was like, I'm confused. What do you think is happening? And he's like, easy. Me and my groomsmen are at the Airbnb. The trolley's going to pick us up from the Airbnb and then take us to the, and I was like, oh no, that is not what's happening. The trolley is not picking you guys up. Like, you guys need to get to the reception venue on your own, and then the trolley's picking us up from there. And he was like, okay, well, I definitely told like 90% of my groomsmen that to Uber here, because they were, we were like, oh God. And so they had to like quickly pile into the back of someone's car and get to the reception venue. And like, we all had to arrive to the reception venue like within pretty much like the same 5 minutes. But obviously Matt and I were going to do our first look.
They had to avoid each other basically. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And so the second that my sister was ready to like go, I piled in her car with my niece. And like my nephew was born in June. And so she had like all of his like
a newborn,
because she newborn stuff, and like she was pumping and breastfeeding at that time too. So she had like all of that shit. So we get in her car, drive again like 2 minutes if you hit the stop sign or stoplight to the venue. Whenever we get there, my niece is like, oh, can you hold me? And I'm like, sure, I love you. So I'm like holding her and I'm like trying to walk. And as I'm walking, my dress had like lace at the bottom and it was getting stuck on a couple sticks. And so I was like trying to grab it without ripping the lace and like all of this stuff. And I'm just feeling like a little bit overwhelmed. And like groomsmen are arriving, which I'm like, oh God, that means that Matt's almost arriving. And I'm like, I don't know where my phone is right now to even text him to be like, take a lap, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a little bit stressful. And at one point I see I'm walking, it's getting stuck, I'm holding my niece and I'm holding a bag, like all of this. And people are coming out of the venue to like try to help me. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm so fucking done with this fucking dress. And we had like a wedding day of coordinator who was at that venue, and she went, it's a little early, and like grabbed something from me. And I just remember like looking over and seeing like one of the groomsmen who is our really good friend, Andrew, and he just like started laughing so hard. And I was like, this is just like a nightmare. And then we went up to the bridal suite and the woman brought 3 glasses of champagne. And she was like, it's a little early to be mad at the dress that you just probably put on. Like, let's just relax. And I was like, okay. And like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Runaway Bride, which is like an iconic rom-com movie. You guys have to watch it. It's just like, is it a good movie? Yes. Is it a bad movie? Yes. It's iconic. But at one point, she and her sister are talking about something, and she's getting like a little bit like worked up and nervous. And there's like a oscillating fan, and she's like following it. And so I started doing that with the oscillating fan in the bridal suite. And my sister was like laughing so hard because I was like, I mean, if this is like stressful, like that, I can deal with it, but it's like, it's all happening at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was good. And then I think that having people like Ben, Amelia, and Liv were so vital to the success of my wedding day. Because so one of our groomsmen, his wife is also one of our really close friends, and she is a florist in where she's from. And so leading up to the wedding and like doing all the wedding planning, flowers are fucking expensive. And by fucking expensive, I mean add a 0 to whatever number you're thinking. It is stupid. For what we had at my wedding, if we would have gone through like a normal florist, would have cost like $4,000. Just for what we had. And it was really bare bones because I didn't want to spend a lot of money. What can I say? So I contacted Liv and I was like, hey, I'm kind of a little bit overwhelmed. I don't really know what style of flowers I want. Like, you know, this is kind of what my bridesmaids are wearing. I don't have like an affinity towards a certain flower, but I really love the look of wildflowers. Like, is this something that's reasonable? Like, blah, 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 blah. And it kind of turned into her being like, why don't I do this for you? Like, I would love to do this for you. And I was like, I mean, that would be awesome. I would love for you to do it, but also like, I want to pay you. And she was like, I don't want you to pay me. And we went back and forth, back and forth. And so on Friday, we actually went to a florist and picked out all the flowers. And I purchased all of the colorful flowers in my bouquet, but she brought all of the greenery, all of the candles, all of the baby's breath, like all of the vases. Like that was her for free. And that alone would have cost like $1,000. So that was like, she was awesome for that. But I told her, I was like, now I have like a really big ask, which is Matt and I thrifted all of these like different color bottles. And I was like, you know, we'll put them in the groups of what we think looks best. We'll label them on the bottom. But whenever we arrive to the reception venue, when Matt and I are doing our first look and our vows, like somebody needs to coordinate putting all of those on the table and getting it all set up. And I was like, we will have the manpower, we will have the entire bridal party, but like I needed a like visionary. And she was like, don't worry, I've got you. And at one point, like I think that we just finished our like first look and we read our vows and we were about to go take some photos. And I heard Liv being like, go here, not like that, like this. And I was like, I am so thankful. And I was like, I don't think that she's going to be rude. I don't think that she's going to be bossy, but also like in those situations, you need someone to just be like, this is what we're doing. Go do this, my little minion. And I was like, so thankful to have her like doing that for us because it really like it turned out so beautiful, like more beautiful than I could have ever put together in my head. So I was like, thank you, Liv. And she would ultimately also she had like mini bottles of prosecco in her backpack and she literally was like handing them to me. Like
yeah,
I
awesome.
have your mom wants that photo of Ben on the trolley printed out, but she also really wants this photo.
I was literally thinking about that picture last night beforehand because I was trying to think about, and then I just remember sitting in the because that was at the ceremony venue.
Yeah.
And like it was like I almost said backstage. What do you call it? Like the bridal suite.
It was the bridal suite. So we once the bus showed up, I don't know where my phone went. I had nothing. And also Matt was wearing a watch that didn't work. It didn't have a watch battery in it.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah. Now he did really cute. He set it to our anniversary. So that's what the time said the entire day, which was very cute and very sweet. But it also meant like, you know, you're rushing from thing to thing to thing. And the photographer we worked with, she was like, I will be your timekeeper. I will tell you when, what, who, or why. But you can't help but feel like we're running late. And we got on this trolley and it was so cute. And everywhere we had read online said there was AC. And there was, but on an August day, there was like no AC.
In St. Louis?
All had like,
no. It wasn't
And we
happening.
all had like, I think that we all had like trauma from like being a kid and like rolling down the bus window and the bus driver yelling at you because not one single person opened a window. Nobody opened a window.
Nope.
And so we were like sweating and like it was so hot and it was like 3 p.m. So like the sun was like blaring. And we arrived to the jewel box where we got married. And because we had our ceremony there and then we had our reception someplace else. And I just remember arriving to the jewel box and feeling like guests are going to be here in 2 minutes. And I think I yelled at Ben and Amelia at one point where I was like, I need you guys to go do this for me. And like, thank you for taking it on.
You made them be ushers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was not polite, but yeah, like 2 groomsmen got COVID like literally 4 days before the wedding. And so my brother and Lola's brother were going to be ushers, but they had to kind of be brought up to
they
be
were promoted. They were
They
promoted
were
last
promoted.
second.
And then I was like, also like, I don't think we need an usher, but like, just in case, like, Ben and Amelia, congratulations, you guys are going to now be ushers. And like, you guys just took it like on the chin. I was very, very thankful to have you guys. And at one point, like,
Absolutely.
guests did start arriving early, and like, I was like, nobody's allowed in here until we get these fucking family photos taken. I don't think I said it like that. I don't think I was a bridezilla, but I felt like a bridezilla.
Well, I also remember that when we were, because we were actually like really on time, and actually I think we were we were early, and so
there was
we
another wedding that was leaving.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Well, we had to, so we ended up having to stay like in that bridal suite that the picture was taken in for a while because we were there early, which I mean was a good thing, but it also like I think it was like 4 o'clock, and like it's basically like a greenhouse. Like the bridal suite didn't have like windows or anything. Like it was basically like just a dressing room type situation, but like the entire building, because it's a greenhouse, was just really hot, and they had AC, but the AC didn't do anything. And so like
we didn't think about the fact that they didn't have UV protection on the windows because it's a greenhouse.
Yeah.
So
and
that's our bad. We literally visited the venue at like noon, and we were like, noon, sun's in the sky, hot, and it's doable, and didn't think about the fact that when we'd be getting married, sun was not overhead, it was actually going to be sideways, and directly inside.
Yeah, which is like, so it was in like I can't remember if it was in your eyes or Matt's eyes the whole time, but
it was in mine, because I was like, if Matt stands with the sun facing him, he's going to burn.
Yeah. But we were in the bridal suite beforehand, and we were back there for a long time. And literally all of us are like, I think almost everybody except me, but like especially Erin. Erin was so warm, and like she was getting like deodorant on her dress, and like so she like crouched over the one AC vent that there was in there, and she was just like, and then like I think Matt or somebody came in, and he was like, "Is Erin okay? What happened? What happened?"
Oh yeah,
like, she's fine. She's just really warm, but she has to crouch over the fucking air vent. Like,
well, I had told everybody like, just kind of where I was at like the day before the wedding, is that I told people, I was like, if the reception venue burns down but is somehow put back together by the time I get there, I don't want to know about it until a week later. Like I can't be the problem solver, which is like really hard because I've been the coordinator, but I cannot be the problem solver, not today. And that I am a problem solver by nature, so that was very stressful, like giving that up. Well, on our honeymoon, Matt goes, he was like, yeah, I think, we're like talking about the wedding, and we're like, honestly, I don't really think anything big went wrong. There were stressful times, and like I think the biggest like hiccup was the second time we got on the trolley, all of us were like, can we roll down the windows? And the bus driver was like, yeah. And the second we rolled down the windows, it was like beautiful. Like there was a breeze coming in. We were like, son of a bitch, we could have been doing this the whole time.
No, literally.
But we're talking, we're like, I think that was the biggest hiccup. And he was like, oh, and Erin throwing up. And I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
and he was like, I was like, I mean, yeah, she probably threw up at the end of the night because she was drinking a lot. And he was like, no, she was drinking like all morning. And I was like, I was with Erin all morning. She was not drinking all morning. And he was like, well, I saw her throwing up. And finally, like he kind of tells me, he was like, I saw her bent over in the jewel box. And like she stepped up, and the front of her dress is a little wet. So I assumed that she threw up. And I was like, no.
No, she was crouching over the air vent, and it was like literal like boob sweat, you know what I mean? Like and like and for some reason the dresses that we had were like those infinity dresses, which by the way were the best possible dresses we could have had because they were cool. But the fabric, like if you get water or like sweat, or if you get something, if it gets wet, you can see it. And like a lot of the color, they were like jewel tones, but like it was light enough that you could like see that. So that was kind of like, we thought that it was a big deal. In the moment we thought it was a big deal, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, for sure.
After the ceremony, we take a trolley ride around or whatever. Us. And then we get to the venue or whatever, and then I don't know, they do all the wedding stuff at the venue.
Yeah.
They do all the wedding stuff at the venue, but they had this instead of a guest book, it was like a phone guest book.
Mm-hmm.
So you went and you dialed whatever the number was, and you left them a voicemail, and Matt, like, they collect them, they send it to you, and Matt had all the voicemails. And apparently I left a really funny one, or like several really funny ones, and I can't remember what I said. Do you remember what
I
I
can't
said
remember.
at all?
No, I haven't
remember it
listened to
was
those
funny,
voicemails.
apparently.
I haven't listened to those voicemails in probably
Like
2 years.
yeah. But
Yeah.
apparently,
There were some really funny ones on. A
yeah.
lot of people were having trouble with so you can pay a service to do it for you, like after the tone. But again, that was like $500.
Yeah.
So we bought a old red phone and then like hooked it up and set it up to a Google Voice number, which was set through Matt's phone. So during the reception, Matt left his phone like kind of nearby and just basically turned it on mute. And so people would call the Google Voice number. And like, I think it worked for the most part, but I do think that people just haven't had like a physical phone like that. And so people were like, I don't know, like we have so many messages that start with like, I don't know if this is working, which is like very funny. I don't need to listen to the voicemails every day. They're there whenever I want to, but I think that you left like 2, because I think that you left one on your own, and then I think that you and Ben might have left one together,
or
like
something.
You were like a star in like someone else's voicemail.
Yeah, I was a guest star.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I was gonna say about the flowers, I don't know if you know this, but after the wedding, Ben kept several of your flowers.
I think Tanya cleaned everything up for us. But
and a few,
at one point,
it was like me and Tanya and Steph and Aaron and Amelia and Ben, and we cleaned it all up.
Which by the way, they did tell me later, they're like, I mean, Amelia, Ben, and Aaron were so drunk, I don't really know how much they were helping, but they were there.
Like I was,
which is very funny.
Well, and you know what's funny about it is that I was also really drunk, but I feel like I was actually helpful, which is funny.
Yeah. But you know, I'm talking to the bartenders, I'm thanking them, because like we tip them, but obviously, like, I don't know, I'm a Midwesterner at heart, like I can't help it. I'm going to thank the service workers and like anybody who I could. And the DJ was incredible. Like I loved him. So I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden Tanya's like, what do you want to do with the flowers? And I'm like, oh God, like they're so beautiful. Like I want to save them. And she just kind of like looked at me and was like, okay. And I was like, okay. Brain power. So, okay, so you take them all home, and then Matt and I will grab, and then like in the middle of me saying this, I'm like, Matt and I are leaving for our honeymoon in like 36 hours, which means that they'll be sitting at her house for like a week. They're not going to be good at that point. Like, no, what am I talking about? And so I literally just had this like moment where I was like, I think we have to throw them away. So I know that Ben took some. I know that Yvette took some. I begged the DJ to, but he was like, here's the thing, I really want to, but if I take flowers home to my wife after this wedding, she's going to expect it every time. And I was like, that's valid. But I did have one of the bartenders, she made a beautiful bouquet, and she was like, is it okay that I'm taking this much? And I was like, literally, they're going to go into the trash. So if you want to take 4 bouquets home, like, I don't care. Well, she ended up telling me, she was like, well, actually, tomorrow is the day that like my mom died, and I was going to go to her gravesite to visit her, and so I'm going to give her these flowers. And I was like sitting there, and I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so all of that. So I literally the only flowers I took home were my bouquet and Matt's
boutonniere.
Not correct. Yeah, boutonniere, corsage, boutonniere.
Yeah. But do you know that Ben took them, put them in, we gave him a whole bunch of textbooks to press them in so he could take them home. He took them, he was like, I'm going to make them a gift and give them to them on their 1-year anniversary, and then I don't think he ever did.
Oh, no.
They're still pressed in those textbooks.
You still have them?
Love.
Yeah, I do.
Oh. So what are you going to do with them, bitch?
Well, I can't remember if when I came to New Year's the year after, if you already had this, but I was going to put them in like a shadow box.
Yeah, I put my bouquet in a shadow box. I think it's like the best bouquet shadow box situation ever? No, not at all. Not at all. Matt's boutonniere, I put it in like a flower press, like glass one, and like it's faded already. And I'm like, well, we did the best that we could.
Well,
But I'll show a photo for the audience, for our visual viewers. So these were like our centerpieces. And this was like the phone. And then
Memories.
here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was so good. It was so good. But I just didn't know if you knew that like Ben literally like
Nope.
we took them home
Also,
and
you
then
were going to make something for my wedding. So
I was?
yeah, you said, I'm going to make you something for your wedding. And then you're like, it's not done by your wedding. And then I never.
No, because it's sitting right in front of me right now. Because it was a blanket. I was gonna make you guys a blanket and like put the date on it. And like I started the blanket, I literally have it right in front of me, but I've never finished it. So like it's literally sitting in my crochet box right in front of me.
That's so funny.
Because I was like, oh my god. So next week is Christmas. If you didn't know, next week is Christmas. And so I'm like, I decided for some reason this year I was gonna make most, if not all, of the presents. And so yesterday I'm like, oh, I have some presents to finish. And then I realized that it's the week before Christmas and I went, make the presents, make the presents. What was I thinking? and so and so I go into my crochet box because I have projects in there that I need to finish by next week. And I pull out this like I'm making this blanket for my grandma, but I pull out the blanket of yours that I didn't finish because it was like tangled up in something else and I was like, uh Pikachu face. Like literally Pikachu face. Like, oh, I need to finish that. But like now that I know it's there, I know exactly what yarn I used for it. Like, I actually probably can finish it. So
Right.
it might be
Anniversary
showing
gift.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be showing up. It might show up at some point in your PO box.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
you guys both seen New Girl? I don't know if Ben's seen New
Mhm.
Girl.
Parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so Coach always goes. I don't know whose wedding. If they were talking about Cece and Schmidt's wedding, or if they were talking about a different wedding, but like whenever Coach talks about a wedding, he goes the wedding, and so that's like. Do you
That's
know
how
what
you
I'm
feel?
talking? That's what I would like
Mm-hmm.
every time we would talk about the wedding. In my head, it was the wedding. Just a fun little tidbit.
um, we did like a no playlist, and I was like, I don't want any songs that like Cha Cha Slide, Cupid Shuffle, anything like that. Like I don't want to hear them. And so the DJ came over to me and he was like, hey, this family member requested the Cha Cha Slide. Do you want to play it? And I was like, no, that's stupid. And he was like, it was like an uncle. And he said it was like in relation to like, I think he said a YouTube video. And I was like, play it immediately. Because
Play
there's
it
like a family.
immediately.
And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, immediately. Well, there's like family lore where like there's like this video of like the cousins doing it. And it had to be taken down from YouTube because people were commenting because they're children and they're like, I hope that one in the pink shirt dies.
Literally,
Like crazy comments on this YouTube video. And it had like something crazy like 100,000 views. Like
it was
it was
literally like basically like it wasn't viral enough that like everybody knows about it, but it was viral enough that it had like 100,000 views or something. And it is our sister Erin, Matt, and
their two
their
cousins.
two cousins, technically also our cousins, but they're two cousins,
Yeah.
and they're doing the cha cha slide. And the whole time, Erin, she's the littlest one in the video, the youngest one in the video, and she's bossing them all around. And it's the funniest video on the planet, but yeah, they had to take it down because they were getting like really, really violent hate comments about Erin bossing everybody around.
They're like at one point she like falls down and they're like, I laughed out loud when that bitch fell. And you're like, okay.
Like, me too, but I'm her sister, so I can laugh.
Right. So
and
at the wedding, they played Cha Cha Slide and they recreated that dance. And like, it was so funny. Like, arguably, it's really funny that they played it and the only people dancing were those four.
yeah, and there, I
like
have a video
nobody
of it.
else.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody was like, okay. And good wedding. The only regret I have is that it wasn't that we didn't extend the reception like 1 hour longer because it felt like by the time we said hello to everybody and like hung out, it was over, and that was really sad.
Yeah. Some of you might be wondering, why was Ben, my best friend, invited to this wedding?
Well, first of all, we love him. That's why.
Well, because basically what happens is that it's like a family phenomenon, and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it specifically happens with my friends where like the family adopts my friends. Like, and I don't know how it happens. I just like they love Ben so much that like he comes over and is involved in all our families. Well, not all our family stuff, obviously, because we literally live in different states. But like, he has like come over frequently and like and is involved in so much of our like family stuff. It's
I don't
for
even
sure.
know if you know this, but your mom literally has a set of bed sheets put away for me.
oh no, I know, and I know that. Well, first of all, because she had them sitting out for a long time, but second of all, because I bought this fabric to make Eleanor pants for Christmas, and there are cats instead of dogs like on your sheets, but she goes, that looks like Ben's sheets but with cats. I was like,
Literally my
it's like,
sheets.
okay. Yeah, they're for
Mm-hmm.
him. Like nobody is like, I haven't even seen the sheets since he's been here last, which was like, you haven't been here for a while.
No, I'm due for a
There
trip.
was
I know.
there was one time where like you had left town, but like we were there like the next week, and there was a pillow sitting on like a chair, and I went to like move it, and she was like, "Oh, hand me Ben's pillow."
Yeah.
You know, Matt was talking recently, and he was like, "So if Ben gets married, do you think it will be a Jewish wedding?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." And he's like, "Do you think we'll be invited?" I was like, "Surely, surely we have to be invited to this wedding."
I mean, I think it would be kind of mean if you invited him to yours and then he didn't invite you to his. Unless we had like some sort of really, really dramatic falling out or something, which like I don't predict.
No,
It would be so iconic.
Knock on wood.
it would have to. It would be pretty iconic. We can make it happen.
Mine and Lola's different reactions. Lola's like, knock on wood. I'm like, iconic. It would be so...
Should we play Two Truths
Yeah.
and a Lie?
Ben, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Because I have mine right.
Oh,
written.
she's ready. Okay,
I'm ready.
You
Mainly
can go.
because I was
You can
stressed
go.
out about it. Because I
You
feel
go.
like I'm an open book.
you go.
Okay. I've been to a new country every year since 2020. I have 11 tattoos, only one in color. I have seen glass animals in 2 different countries.
I don't think you've seen glass animals in 2 different countries. I know you've seen them more than once, or maybe you did because you have that blanket that's like, oh fuck, wait, you have more than 11 tattoos, surely, because I have 13. So you have way more than me. Ben, what do you think?
They're all a little suspicious.
They are all a little suspicious.
Well, can you prove to me that she's been in a different country every year?
Since 2020, you were in Ireland, and then I don't know about 2021, but 2022, your honeymoon was in Belize. 2023, you were in Greece, at least. 2024, Korea. But there's a missing, I don't know about 2021. Is it cheating to look at your Instagram? I think it's cheating, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely cheating.
It's definitely cheating. I don't know. That one is like, I feel like that's not.
It's
that
so close to the truth.
that it could be a lie? I just feel like she has way more than 11 tattoos.
They
I know.
all skirt around what could actually be.
Yeah.
Which I get is the point of the game.
Yeah. Well, I do know that I'm pretty sure she does only have one tattoo in color, and it's the red window of Greece where she went. But the glass animals one to me is like, that's the one I'm like least sure about, so that's why I think it's suspicious. But like, I know that she has this blanket that's like I think it's from the Glass Animals concert, and I thought it said something about Ireland, but I can't figure out if I'm making it up.
I'm gonna let you know now that blanket doesn't exist. You're thinking of my Lumineers blanket.
Oh!
Which also, by the way, doesn't have any words on it.
It doesn't? Wait, what? You guys, I'm being fucking duped.
I don't have any blankets that have words on them.
Now I feel like you're just gaslighting me.
No, I'm not gaslighting you. I don't own. Aaron owns like a Taylor Swift blanket that says Taylor Swift on it.
Oh, I don't know why I thought that.
I think it's number one.
You think it's number one?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
My final answer is My final answer is number 3.
Ding, ding, ding. Ben is right. I
Damn.
have been to a new country every year since 2021. I've been to Ireland twice. I've been to Belize, Greece, and now Korea. And then I do only have 11 tattoos.
Really?
And that's including my stick and pokes. I have one on my thigh. I have 2 rib cage. I have 2 stick and pokes also on my rib cage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I think it just feels like more because they're bigger.
I have big pieces. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
big pieces. And then I have seen glass animals in 2 different countries. I've seen them like I think 4 or 5 times in the States and then once in London. And we just bought tickets. We're going to see them in Japan.
Okay, Ben, your turn.
I pretend like I know what I'm doing at all 3 of my jobs, and everyone believes I know what I'm doing, but actually I'm freaking out the entire time. This is both my theater job, my deli job, and my music teaching job. I am ranked platinum in ranked Fortnite because of how well I hide and run away from people. That I just last the entire game until I actually have to face people who are good. And then my third one is that I spent over $200 in the past 24 hours on Christmas gifts for no one in my immediate family. I've yet to get gifts for anyone in my immediate family.
All of those feel true to me. I feel like the Fortnite one is definitely true because I've been with you when you play Fortnite, and I'm pretty sure I remember Tristan being like, Ben literally just hides the whole time until he has to come out and fight.
That also like tracks with like what I know about Ben. I'm like, yeah, he's a lover, not a fighter. He's Petum.
I also definitely feel like you know what you're doing at least 2.
Yeah, I think that's the lie because I think that like there's some faking it till you make it, but I think that like I don't think that that's true for all of your jobs. I think that you know.
Yeah, I think you know what you're doing at least one job.
Is that what you guys are looking in?
That's my final answer because I completely believe that you would buy over $200 in Christmas presents for our friends. I completely believe that. Like in your family.
I'm gonna say
I'm locking in number 1.
I'm locking in number 3.
Number 3.
For the only reason being is that I think it's going to be something stupid where you're like, I actually only spent $190.
So, it's actually number 2.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm only ranked. I was ranked platinum this season, but today just sucked so bad that I'm back down to gold. Me and Danny went grocery shopping, and all we bought were things for like his family. And so nothing for like my friends, my family, nothing yet. And the jobs, while yes, there are components of each jobs that like, okay, I know what I'm doing. There are like parts of my job that it's like, is this correct? Because like for my music teaching job, I have to record my students in a recording studio. I don't know what I'm doing. I just plug chords and things, and does that make the sound go on the screen? Sure, we'll say that's correct.
Oh, good lord.
And it's probably not. And so a lot of the times I have other teachers just set up things for me. Can you do this?
LOL.
And they're like, yeah, sure. At the deli, my manager was out with COVID, and so I've had to pick up his opening shifts. And like I had one training shift, and it's been absolute chaos. And like, thank God he's back. And what's my other job? Oh, JPP. I just have to act like I'm a theater professional, even though I'm less than a full semester out of college. And they're like, you know how to do this part of a Zoom meeting. You're young. Sure. I'll figure it out.
Okay. So
she's stalling.
No, I have some vaguely formed in my mind. when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to wear I was allowed to wear makeup to school except for eyeliner. And so I wore a full face of makeup except for eyeliner to school every single day to 7th and 8th grade. That's number 1. Number 2, I have to fall asleep with the TV on every single night, and it literally plays until I wake up the next morning. And number 3, I love Christmas, and I've been making my mom decorate the house for Christmas, even though I've been gone for 4 years. And she has denied every request.
I think that one's true because I know that you guys were talking about finally getting a tree and you're like so excited that it wasn't going to be a pineapple this year. So I think that one's true. I don't think the TV one is true because you come over to my house and you sleep and you are not playing TV. And also I'm such a light sleeper that I feel like I would have heard if you were like playing it out loud on your phone.
See, that's also where my mind is, because I've literally lived with you.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a TV on. But I've also only ever spent one night with you in your room, in your house.
Does she have the TV on?
I don't remember.
And then what was the first one?
The first one was that I wore a full face of school every day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
grade.
see, that clocks out. I'm like, yeah.
It's number 2.
That makes 2016.
I think it's number 2 too. 2. I'm locking in.
Number 2 is indeed the lie. So I it's only when I'm alone that I have to sleep with the TV on. Because if I hear noises in the night, I get really freaked out. So like I do sleep with the TV on, but like I put like the sleep timer on it and it turns off in the night. So like I don't do it when I'm around other people because like when other people are there, I feel safe. But like at night when it's like it's me down in the basement and then like the ground floor and then upstairs, and my mom's room is the upstairs, and so there's like literally a floor between us, and so I feel really unsafe. I also sleep with a bat next to my bed, so I keep the TV on until I fall asleep.
Valid.
But I don't do it when there's other people around.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the yapfest featuring Ben and Lola. If you'd like to listen to more episodes, check us out wherever you find your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the like. If you want to watch the video of this episode or future or past episodes, go head over to our YouTube, yapfest featuring Ben and Lola. If you want to watch clips of this episode or other episodes, head over to our TikTok, yapfest.podcast. And if you want to receive updates about what's happening over here at yapfest, head over to our Instagram at yapfest.podcast.
Hooray! Thank you to our first special guest and our number 1 fan and listener, Eleanor.
And number 1 hater.
And number one hater. Woo! Okay, bye. Slay boots.